It's Numbers Don't Lie here on CBS Sports Golazo, powered by Sofascore. Yes, we are asking if Harry Kane is the best player in the world, because I personally believe that right now, yes, Harry Kane is the best player in the world, and that's why England is going to win the World Cup, JD.
I love this year. I love this conversation. I love the fact that the Englishman is getting the love that he deserves and the flowers on this show. And I will say, Nico, on record, this conversation started on this show. The rest of the world might have picked up afterwards, but me and you were having this conversation very early on in the season, and it's about time. It's about time we start acknowledging the greatness of Harry Kane.
So beyond the eye test, I think the numbers just speak for themselves anyway, right? In the 37 games that he's had in all competitions, 45 goals and only 5 assists, which is the crazy part. I would have sworn he had more assists just because of that playmaking ability that he has. But scrap all the penalty kicks. It's 31 goals, big chance conversion, 55.7%. He is all over the pitch. This is kind of normal. This is not so normal down here. I mean, the fact that he's able to drop deep, get involved, and develop plays, right? Be involved in the build-up just speaks to how wise he is as a footballer. And I feel like he just needed to make that move to a world-class team from beyond Spurs for everybody to recognize how good he is. And he's so good, he's chasing Robert Lewandowski records that you felt at the moment when he was pulling it off in the Bundesliga. You would say, untouchable, right? Gerd Muller's record sat for like 40 years.
Yep, and rightfully so.
So the fact that Harry Kane within just a couple of seasons is like, all right, I'm going to put that record under threat. He's got to get 11 goals right in the next 10 games, but if there's anybody that can do it, this guy can't do it. He's so good, JD.
He's phenomenal. And can we go down story lane for just like for half a second? He's been phenomenal his whole career, and I really want, especially a lot of our younger viewers, to pay attention to the journey that Harry Kane has been on, because all of this stuff now is just testament to the hard work that he's put in at the beginning of his career, especially the embryonic stages. Like looking at the third player to ever score 20+ goals in terms of in the Champions League.
He was at Leicester.
Is another thing. But what I will say to you is his story is a testament of determination, dedication, and more importantly, never giving up on himself, because this guy was almost sold as a Spurs shirt. It took one manager in Tim Sherwood to understand and recognize his quality, his potential, what he brings. As someone who's played against this young man, I will tell you now, I knew from young. He was clinical. The work that he puts in, I've known so many of his teammates throughout his whole career that tell me nobody works harder off the pitch than this guy. In terms of, he doesn't rely on his physicality. He doesn't rely on just his mentality. He puts everything together, and this is a complete player. The low moves and the systems that he's been through in terms of from Norwich to Millwall to everything else that he's had to accomplish is all acquiring knowledge so that you can now have the conversation of saying, undoubtedly, he is, if not the best player in the world, then definitely in the conversation for it.
I feel like this scatter plot, though, doesn't do him justice, because on the y-axis is the assists per 90, which we saw that it's only 5 assists in the entirety of all the competitions that he's played. But we know from the eye test, beyond the numbers, he's so important to the build-up and just to the makeup from possession, from an attacking perspective for Bayern. But look at goals all the way down on the x-axis. He's so far beyond the likes of Kylian Mbappé. But now when we start talking and mentioning Kylian Mbappé and Lamine Yamal, comparing these three, who are arguably the best in the world, who is the best amongst these three? And is Harry Kane really the best player in the world?
Yes. I really think when we can go through the comparisons in terms of all of the attributes that make what we feel like, especially forwards, so dynamic in the final third. But Harry Kane really does things that the eye test, only the real eye test people will understand, in terms of the space that he picks up, in terms of the dynamic ability to involve his teammates. But what we need to talk about first of all is his primary asset, which has been his asset since he was a kid, his goal scoring. I don't care who you are. You could put Haaland on here, you could put Mbappé on here, you could put Lamine Yamal. This man right here in front of goal, I believe it's going in before anything else. It doesn't matter what angle it's in. He has perfected hitting the side netting. He has perfected understanding the workings. And I respect Kylian Mbappé. I love how dynamic he is. I love Lamine Yamal, because as a teenager, we might not ever see him again. He's generational. But we need to start giving respect to a generational goal scorer. There's a reason why he's been in these conversations for so long.
So our vote is going to go in the left column, and Sofascore's vote is going to go in a right-hand column. Considering all the numbers, where does Sofascore go with the goal scorer? Is it Kane, Mbappe, or Yamal? So let's take look at it. Looking at the goals per 90, yes, it's Harry Kane that's got more, much more than Lamine Yamal, who I don't think out and out is a goal scorer, but for me, this sells it all. Non-penalty goals, right? Because I mean, both of them take penalty kicks, Mbappé and Harry Kane, but just the sheer volume. So the numbers do agree that Harry Kane is the best. So in our first category, it's Harry Kane.
Nice to know that Sofascore agreed with us as well.
And for Sofascore. So then we take it on over to playmaking.
Okay.
My vote goes to Harry Kane as well. But just considering that that low assist numbers, I feel like the numbers here are going to say a different story because Lamine also has that assist component to his game. That's great. But I think Bayern is a completely different team if you take Harry Kane out. For example, Robert Lewandowski was as prolific as a goal scorer as him, and I just think Harry Kane gives you another layer. So you look at assists per 90, key passes per 90, he is pretty low on that column. Lamine Yamal is by far better than Mbappé and Kane. It feels like Mbappé is a finisher, Kane is a finisher. Big chances created. Lamine Yamal is creating a lot of these chances, but again, I'm shocked that these numbers for Harry Kane are so low just because I know the way that he plays and I feel like these numbers don't do him justice. I know how involved Harry Kane is in the build-up. You look at his heat maps, I guarantee you Harry Kane's heat map is much thicker in the bottom portion of the field where Mbappé and Lamine Yamal don't even float. So I would imagine Sofascore is probably gonna go with somebody that's, there you go, Lamine Yamal and not Harry Kane.
When we talk about the next quantification, which is efficiency, I want to make sure that we get this bit right. When we're talking about efficiency, I'm talking about your ability to make sure you look after possession, your ability to also make sure you're impacting the game, but just the lack of wastefulness. And that doesn't mean that the other two are wasteful, because I think Lamine is super brave on the ball. I think Kylian Mbappé, in terms of in that final third, is as dynamic as anything we've ever seen in world football. But when we're talking about pure efficiency, and you're talking about someone who really understands what to do in the final third, with at least the least amount of exerted effort, Harry Kane really does dictate in terms of the way that his team flows, the efficiency and everything else that goes with it. So I'm actually going to give him the nod again. I just believe that in terms of how he looks after the ball, how he makes his team flow, and more importantly, how efficient everything else, because of his workings, work, especially in a Bayern shirt or in an England shirt. Harry Kane is phenomenal at linking play. He's phenomenal at converting these chances. He's phenomenal at just everything that he does. He adds such a new layer in terms of who he is as a person, because his touches per goal contributions really don't speak loudly enough about how good he is, especially when controlling this game.
Just so you get an idea, big chance conversion, it's the big chances scored over the big chances had, right? For a normal player around Europe, it's around 20%. For goals conversion, it's around 10%. Lamine is closer to that 10%. The fact that Harry Kane's at 31% is actually pretty crazy.
No, I don't think it's crazy at all. His efficiency is incredible. With this guy,
I'm not surprised. It's just impressive.
Anything that you need, left foot, right foot, heading, finding an angle, whatever it is, laying it on for a teammate. Sometimes the pass before the pass. This guy is just phenomenal. He is. I've run out of superlatives, and I feel like sometimes because he doesn't have an EO on the end of his name, or doesn't have any funny accents in terms of going either way, he doesn't get the flower he deserves, because he's Harry from Walthamstow. But at the same time, I'm not going to take it away from what the eye test is telling you and what you're seeing in terms of the consistency that he's produced. Now we're about to enter a different conversation.
Yeah, international
unfortunately,
success.
He's been riddled with a team that is known as the best losers.
Listen, and France has been to the last 2 World Cup finals, and Mbappé has played a huge part. And
Massively.
for me, that's why he gets a vote in that column for international success, because in 1 World Cup final, he was on the winning side of things, scoring and being the youngest teenager to score, blah, blah, blah. And then in the World Cup final that he didn't win, he scored a hat trick. Mbappé at any moment can just turn it on. Lamine hasn't played a World Cup yet. Let's caveat right there. And the one international tournament that he's played, he's been very good and very influential. But the fact that Kylian, it feels like he is synonymous with the World Cup at this point. Almost so, he is probably going to break the record for most goals ever in World Cups. Like, talk about consistency, talk about showing up. If he doesn't get injured, he's going to be one of the historic World Cup players that we're going to remember if he isn't already.
And what I do like is that the goal involvement, this really does showcase to you, and I know this is the Harry Kane segment, but it showcases you the reliance that Kylian Mbappé has on his shoulders, the pressure in both the French and, of course, the Real Madrid shirt. It is an understanding as to his greatness, also how he manages those expectations, but then delivers on a consistent basis. And I love the fact that Sofascore also agrees with us. All right, let's go to trophies, because one thing that has riddled Harry Kane in terms of around his career has been the narrative as to whether or not he's won enough. Now, Tottenham Hotspur have their own chapter in terms of their lack of winning trophies, but in this Bayern shirt, I think he's actually delivered everything he can do. They're still in the Champions League this year. There's still huge expectations for what they want to do in a continental situation. But you said it before, when it comes to winning trophies, nothing's bigger than the World Cup. So you have to give the nod once again to Kylian Mbappé because of the sheer fact of when you've won a World Cup, that is the pinnacle of sport, not just football, of sport. There is no greater feat than winning and lifting it for your nation and the biggest. It's created the legends that we know today, from Pele to Maradona all the way through, because of the sheer fact of this is everything that you need to do. And you see the club trophies that Kylian has won. Whew, I know. Take a deep breath. He's still got a large part of his peak in his career to go to.
You know what I'm looking at in these total club trophies? You know what? One trophy that's not in here from amongst these, 7 plus these 25 trophies in this category. You know what trophy's not in there? Champions League. For neither of these players. Kane played a final, lost. Mbappé played a final, lost. Lamine hasn't got to a final yet.
Semi-final at best.
Listen, Bayern have a shot. Mbappé almost has to win a Champions League with Real Madrid. What did they sign him for? They didn't sign him to win La Liga. So right now I feel like the difference maker is that those World Cup titles that kind of separate Mbappé. Because if Mbappé didn't win a World Cup, I think we'd be talking about him in a different light, right? And then consistency, for me, it's Harry Kane. He's been scoring goals season after season after season after season.
For over a decade, by the way.
I mean, from the Spurs Harry Kane to now, it's been what, like 10 years, right?
Over 10 years.
So pretty incredible. Mbappe's actually been pretty consistent too. Lamine Yamal has peaks, has ups and downs, but for me, if I had to choose, and we're splitting hairs between Harry Kane and Mbappé, for me it's Harry Kane. I wonder what the numbers say, because Mbappé has been pretty incredible, but I do feel there's valleys, there's lows that Mbappé has that are more talked about. Maybe it's because it's Mbappé, and maybe because he plays at Real Madrid. But let's take a look at the numbers. I know Yamal is more inconsistent than that. This is the average Sofascore rating, but I mean, they're all pretty incredible. Look, it's just by tens of a decimal. Most consecutive games without a goal contribution. It's Lamine Yamal up there. But I feel like if I had to smash an anytime goal or assist, I'm smashing Harry Kane anytime goal or assist, like with my eyes closed.
Undoubtedly, and I love the overall when you see the total, the average Sofascore, everything else has come in, and you can see that Harry Kane is the convincing winner. If you feel like we've missed a category, please let us know in the comments. This was provided, of course, by Sofascore all the way through. But this is our last little plea, right? Because the initial question was, is he the best player in the world right now? Would you like to go first or go second? You can have your. Would you not go first or go second?
I said it at the beginning of the segment. Right now, Harry Kane is the best player in the world, and he's been for a little while.
The story, the narrative, the work rate, and more importantly, the consistency has done everything to put the Englishman into the conversation. I definitively will put my flag in the ground and tell you straight, that is the best player in the world. And you heard it right here on Numbers Don't Lie.
Hey, thanks for watching this video from Numbers Don't Lie. Be sure to catch our show every Monday at 5 p.m. on YouTube. And for news and insights from leagues all around the world, including Serie A, EFL, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.